I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did you have a chance to review the minutes?
I thought they were all right, but you made some corrections? Or?
Well, I made some suggestions, but they're fine.
They're already that was already the updated version.
I'd make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 2-0. Commissioner comments and committee reports. Did you have anything?
Well, we're going to have the bridge tour tomorrow, or project. That's not really a committee.
With the engineers and road and bridge supervisory. Myself and you plan on going.
Would you suggest that we take Michelle with us if she's available, or?
Well, you have to decide if you're going to have a meeting, then you have to give notice of the special meeting and go through that procedure. If you're just both going to happen to be there, but you're not going to be discussing county business with each other, then you don't have to go through that process. So, but you can't, you have to decide because you have to give notice of the meeting.
Well, we wouldn't have time. Let's go. You do the talking and I'll do the listening.
Okay. Yeah. I have a meeting, let's see, is it Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock, ambulance advisory board. And I didn't have anything else on that. Okay. New business. Well, why don't we go ahead and get you before you do anything.
Hi there.
Hello.
I have the MPG grant that I get every year for FEMA. I have that paperwork and I need Eric's signature on page 2. It's a $20,500 grant that we get every year that helps fund emergency management stuff that pays for Code Red and handouts that we give to educate the public when we have our meetings to inform the public.
Okay.
Page 2, right below your name, is where I need the signature. And that's just the application. Then after they review everything, then they'll choose to award, and I'll get that letter from KDIM in a month or so.
Okay. Do you have any questions or anything?
You haven't made the motion to sign.
That's what you
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion. We give you authority to sign off on the grant for the works.
Emergency management.
EMPG fund.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 2-0. Here?
In the box below your name.
Below.
Where are we at on the 911 signs? They're getting made, or
No, so I got with Pat and Seth got with Pat, and we drafted a resolution to have you guys sign. That I don't think it's ever been completely finalized to have you guys do that, but I thought so. We were going to pull that money out of capital outlay or capital improvements, but with some changes that had happened, I didn't think that we were able to do that. Okay. So I guess that's something
I
we can
actually
discuss.
have the folder here. I've been working on it, but it's not finished yet. But it should be before next week.
Okay. I'll come back in next Tuesday and we can run through all that and make sure everything's. Probably 3 months ago, I came and talked to you about we need to replace our time system, and we were going to put a committee together. And so everybody's done their homework. Our first demo is September 19th. We're actually doing it at our department head meeting. That way all of the department heads are there to see the demo, and then we'll schedule the next demo for the next department head meeting. That way all the departments have a say and can view it and demo it prior to us doing anything.
Good idea.
We are going to try and get into this year's business, but I don't see
How much
it's
would it
budget.
affect the price if we may or may not have the nursing facility?
I'm not coughing because you said that. A lot. Because you're going to pay per user, so per employee, and they have 75-ish employees up there. So that would drop us from 215 employees, taking 75 off of that. So I shouldn't say a lot because I don't know how much it's going to be per user, but you're going to pay per user. And then, so you'll have your initial down payment with whatever company we choose. You'll have your initial down payment to own their software. And then you'll have maintenance each year after that because that's the way software works. So we'll have our initial down payment, and whether that's 75 minus our total 215 or not, that'll be one fee. And then you'll pay a maintenance per user every year after that. So it is a huge deal if we proceed now and
then change it.
and then change it a year down the road. Probably not, but I don't know till I get the prices. I don't see it being a huge deal.
So we have no something next 30, 60 days, I think.
And I'm just going to try and squeeze this in before December 31st. So we have time. It's not.
Yeah. I think we'll kind of know which direction we're going by then.
Okay. So the ones that we're looking at right now are Time Clock Plus, which is who CIC uses, and they're pushing. Not saying we're going to go with that company, but that's just who they use. We're going to look at In Time, Deputy, and there's a fourth one that is written down that I can't remember off the top of my head. So we're looking at 4 different choices. If we find more, I'll look at more because we want to get what will suit us the best. I've also asked other counties what they're using.
That's usually things that are in service and see how they are with, and especially on the back end, the maintenance, the service.
Yep.
Yeah.
SmartLinks is who we're currently using. I priced them last year when we were discussing that we need to change it, and they are way out of the ballpark when it comes to price, and not even an option for us. I don't feel so, and we currently have what they have, and we don't like it. So
I'd be particularly interested into counties that have got CIC already, and if they have a non-CIC approved or pushed clock system or timekeeping system, how they work and how everything is, works together.
You know, I sent out those emails asking.
Yeah.
So that is all I have.
I have a question. Kim was in today about the phone. Are you aware of what they're doing to the rates? They're going
like the 911 system.
Yeah.
Those are separate than what we have. What the 911 system is, yes, it's a phone system, but that is in its own little world compared to what we do. We're locked into a contract for the next 4 or 5 years on our rates. So our rates will not change because we're on a VoIP system. So our rates will not change. And then when I did that audit of all of our internet and phone and everything, when we renegotiated, we signed contracts with those to drop us to the lower rates that we're at now. And we're good with those for 3 more years, I think.
Then we're going to get hit hard probably.
We'll just do another audit at that point and have them audit us again because it doesn't cost us any money to have
So what you say, they were currently at 30 and they was going to
It was less than
65
30.
and then they kind of said they would do it from 55 the line. It was quite a bit of raise.
Yep. And ours, I
don't.
believe ours are in the $20, but without having a bill in front of me. But the only thing we're paying for is 5 fax lines and 2 call-in lines for our server. So, but they're smaller amounts. So then the rest of it's all VoIP.
I think that the price went $265, but with negotiation, it should go down to 55.
And what are we currently paying? 30, 35?
I don't see
They went up
price. I think it was 35.
I knew it was.
She'll renegotiate and get those down. Ours, off the top of my head, are in the $20 range for our 5 tax lines. So, but we should be set for 3 more years.
We need that back where you signed it.
This is,
Yeah, he gave it to me.
Can't-
Oh, copy of it?
I gave his
okay.
back to him.
That worked? Okay.
All right.
Anything else I can?
Can't think of anything.
You guys have
Thank
a great
you.
day. Thank
You
you.
too.
Close that door. Please.
Go ahead. These gentlemen want to come on up? Just a second. I thought I had a match.
I had mine out. I tried to get it. Hold on.
Just a second. Let's see what we've got. Hello,
My name is Marvin.
Marvin?
Marvin, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm here. I want to find out what was the decision made about that road that we put in down there in the township that Gary was talking about last week. Was there a decision been made already?
Well, it's go ahead, Pat. Be able to explain this better.
The commission didn't make any decision. I don't know that there's anything for the commission to decide. Mr. Gehring was here and talked about, I can't remember the name of the road, but he brought a map and kind of showed us and told the commission what the situation was, but there wasn't any decision that was requested to be made. It's not a county road, so the county doesn't maintain it or really have any part in maintaining it, and the county doesn't have any veto power over what the decision of the township board is. So it would be up to the township to decide.
I noticed on the internet there where you come in here, and I'm with you. It's not a county road; it's a township road. Yeah. And I didn't know what the complaint really was, what the status was on it. I didn't know whether y'all had to make a decision on this, but he never come back to me. Now, he told me just a few days before that he'd give me an answer, and he never gave me an answer. And the reason I was pushing for that is because that guy done that work almost 30 days ago, and he expects his money. And that is a township road, and that road is open. So they don't need to be a conviction about the road not open. The road is not closed, it's open. There's nobody signed off on that road to be closed, you see. So as far as we know, and as far as it's been all my life down there, I own that farm right next to it. That's where we went across. You see, I own that, and we use that road all the time back in there. Now, according to him on that TV, that he ain't been back in there and hadn't do nothing back in there. We got bills on the side of it. Yes, that's true. But that road has not been maintained since David Tull was in there. Because David Tull, he'd go down through that grader about twice a year and make sure that road was open. Not only do we have it, but there's other farmers next to us that's got that same need to get off in there. And as I was telling Greg, to me, with the farmers owning that land back in there along the side of us, if anybody got hurt and they couldn't go through that road with an ambulance or anything, the sheriff go back in there and couldn't get back in there because the road would be messed up. Now, I went to him, and I went to him twice. Twice this year before we ever went back in there. Now, as long as we had little bitty equipment for one thing, but when you start walking back in there with 13, 14-foot equipment, cabs and things on your tractor and things, you don't want to drive up. And this stuff had done rode up so much until we couldn't get through we were cutting across the field. But the neighbors don't want you cutting across their fields. The county road was to be used as the county road. And that's all we was asking him to do is go there and open that road back up. We didn't want him to gravel it. I wouldn't worry about him grabbing that, holding it back so we could go through there with the equipment. And I don't think that would ask him too much. But this man only charged $1,000 to do that job. But he done the job. But he didn't, he could have put more money in that thing, but I wanted Gary to go back and true it up, fix it up the way it should be done. But we got it opened up where we can go through there. But it's not like you say, it's not your fault. It's not your responsibility for a county road. But I can tell you right now, we got it down below there on Warren Creek. Had cut my bridge out going up on another property on down right down south of Warren Creek. There's an old wooden bridge set there. And that wooden bridge is just about to deteriorate clear away from there. That's another road that should be looked at. When they come in there, I had a complaint with the county. I talked to them, and they come down and put rock in there last spring. But the water stuff that we had has cut that rock back out.
What road is that?
That there's 244th Road. It's right down on, right off of Warren Creek, south of Warren Creek. That's about where, 200 yards south of Warren Creek.
Is that
That's the road goes up to Smith's.
No, sir. This is back there by what that there.
244. That's
We talked about that road
It's
before.
between, it's between Smith and two.
Yeah, it's between Smith Road and I'm not on 244, but I'm down off of 244. But it's on the old highway. It's right beside the old highway, right down by that there welding outfit where Sheets at. It's right across from Sheets, an old wooden bridge that's in there. It's been there for
That Sheets has got it. They had a shop.
Carl,
Carl
correct.
Sheets. And it's been there for years, but that bridge is deteriorating away. But the water had cut it, you can't cross it to go back up there through there. Now, people, the landlord on that side, and we use it too. We've been using that thing, but now, they were so busy, but we said it needs a couple tubes put in there or something done to it. We're pretty much, every time it rains, it won't wash it out like that. Yeah, but it's in bad shape.
I'll send that on to
is that off of Sherman Road?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It's not on Sherman Road.
Yeah,
It's east of Sherman Road, correct?
It goes into Sherman. Oh, you know, 244 Sherman Road. Yeah, it goes right into Sherman. It's right off of Sherman, right beside Sherman Road, run right past.
At 244.
See, I'm on 244.
Can
But
you
it's down below 244 going south.
can you show us where it is on that map there? Is there a bridge number there?
Not on that old wooden bridge.
530.
See, that's a Dobby Road.
There's
right
a bridge number 530.
530, maybe. That's the only one I'm seeing right through there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Comes off this direction.
Right 244th is right there. That would
Okay,
It's
that's
right south of 244.
South of 244.
that'd be 530.
Yeah. It might take a look at it because it's harvest time. The guys gonna have to go up through there with equipment and stuff to get into the field and things up there. And we need to go through their own stuff and fence and down and things up in that.
So is there loaded grain trucks come out of there, or I mean, is there?
The farmers use that up and through that. They got field right on top of the hill and they bring that grain down through there too. So it's been used, but right now the way it is now, it's kind of rough to use it. You can't use it. And harvest time is right here, and I know they're gonna be complaining some of the way. Yeah. So it's just an idea, but I'll go back and give it. Maybe Mr. Gary might have an answer for me on this, but he hasn't got back.
I thought he quoted us 10,000.
On what?
Clearing that road.
No, it was 1,000.
Was it 1,000?
Is that right? 1,000?
$1,000. Yes.
That's the figure, but I mean, that's
Yeah, I get it.
I hate to say anything about it because it's not.
Yeah, here do you need a copy of this?
Yeah,
I think we got all that.
yeah,
He handed out 3 or 4 maps and stuff.
Yeah. This is the bill that I got.
Oh,
So are you saying that's not a county matter?
basically,
No,
yeah, it's
that's
township matter.
That's a
Township.
township.
So
Now,
why did you come before the county commission?
we talked about that very same thing when he left.
I don't,
We talked about that while he was here.
Right, I'm just like, if it's not.
you know,
a
it,
matter, why-
yeah,
So the other question comes into play that if he doesn't want to honor that road as being open, which you have records here to say that it is, what's our next step?
Well, that's sort of the question that he was here for. And we don't just give general legal advice to the world or even to the townships. But, there is a statute that does say that if a road has not been maintained for 15 years, that it is a township road that has not been maintained for 15 years. It's the duty of the landowner to bring it up to specs, and thereafter the township must maintain it. We did discuss that. I can get you a copy of the statute. In fact, I can print it for you if you want to wait for it.
And if I have to pay for fixing this, I know you, like you say, you don't have to give legal information out. You know, a counselor, that's a lawyer. But I'm saying, if I have to pay this man for this work they've done on the township road, what's to keep me from turning around and suing him for my money back? Plus,
Well, it's whether or not you have the authority to contract on behalf of the township.
but his,
Because, well, for a taxpayer can't decide that one of our roads has too many potholes on it and then pave it and send us a bill. It's up to the Board of County Commissioners to contract on behalf of the county. It isn't up to individual citizens within the county.
so he had the opportunity to fix that, and he didn't do it.
I guess what he's trying to say is there was negligence on the township for not maintaining that road after Greg went into office. For that reason, he had to go in and open the road himself to get to another landlord's property so that he could do the work on that property.
Well, I haven't done enough research about the ownership or about whether it was maintained or how it was maintained. The county road records in that area are pretty sparse. In fact, I think there weren't any for this portion of the road that is being discussed. I'd like to say that's uncommon, but it's not. Back when those roads were opened in some of them in the late 1800s and some of them in the early 1900s, there wasn't, sometimes all the formalities weren't followed, and sometimes those records weren't kept. But in any event, I'll take your word. I haven't done any research to find out whether or not there are road records, but that's taking.
How long of a stretch of road is this? Is there an estimate, like on his bill? I mean, how
You mean,
quarter mile, or you
mean the distance
that he actually worked on? Yeah. I mean, I was just curious for my
The
own.
whole stretch is about a fourth mile. He probably worked on an eighth of a mile.
And this is the map, one of the maps that we had, and just make sure that we're all talking about the same area. There was a map, and this was, what town settlement was that?
Sumner.
It's
Right here?
Right.
And it was the stretch between here and here?
Right, that's what he.
Okay. And this probably, you say, is about half of the road of the length, or?
No, the road goes directly here.
Well, no, I meant of this stretch here, he worked on about an eighth of a mile, which is about half of that, or is it that whole stretch?
The whole stretch.
Okay, it's the whole stretch
Right.
is about an eighth of a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I didn't, know without being there. How
The whole stretch is a fourth of a mile. What he worked on was an eighth because he worked on the back half of that road. He didn't work on the full half of it. He only worked on what was necessary.
like from here this way?
Yes.
Yeah, but he cleaned the whole road out. Yeah, he cleaned the whole road out.
Well,
I mean, from here, he cleaned this stretch here out. Are you see what I'm saying?
You're saying from here
Right
to here,
he cleaned that out.
and you're saying half of it.
No, he cleaned the whole thing out. But this right here, see, there's another stretch that goes down here that wasn't cleaned out. Now that's what I'm complaining about, because we have land here, and then this here we farm it. So this road comes straight across into this farm, and it comes down into this farm. So these two people, all three of us are tied into this thing.
So
It's not just me,
even as of now, from here, this way is not cleaned up.
not cleaned up.
Okay. Again, that's township. I
And
mean,
that's a township, I agree with it. And that's what I was telling Gary, and that's if he'd start here and clean it, come around right. This wouldn't take much to go right around and clean the whole thing out. And it'd be done with it. Don't have to go back and put millions of dollars worth of gravel in it. Just fix it where farmers can get back in there and get to the field.
well, have you actually went to a township board meeting?
I don't know who they have them or where they have them.
Well,
They have at his house, which I disagree with him. There is third Thursday, second Thursday of the month.
you have that information that you could give to them, and that's where I think you're going to have to talk to the whole township board instead of
Lisa
just.
Hill is on the board, and Greg Garing, and then Greg's wife, I believe. Used to be Lisa Levinsky.
Would there be a way I could get that list at that time? And I'll go sit down and talk with them because I just felt like this was something that should have been handled with I left it up to Gary. I really did. And the day before when that man started up there, Gary told me he'd be there to see about it. I said, I want you to come and take a look at what needs to be done so we can get through with our equipment. He said, well, I'll be up there, I'm busy. But he never made it. We opened up the road and we have to operate like anybody else. We got a certain time limit, we got to go and come. We can't wait for 2 or 3 weeks or a month to get to a field.
I did ask him, Mr. Baldridge, did you notify him? He said, yes, you did. What was his answer? I'll get to it, or something like just what you said.
Yeah, he told me that's what he said too. Yeah, I have no, I'm not confusing him. The only thing I'm saying, hey, come on, let's go on and pay the bill, and we don't have to go to the White House or the Topeka or nowhere else. Just pay the little bill, and we'd be satisfied with it, And then he can go back and look later on and say, hey, I think if we can improve this. But for all 3 of us farmers back in there, that needs to be done. It needs to be done. I talked to Lister there after he was back. Lister went back there and said, Marvin, he said, we've been needing that road opened up to get to our fields for so long, but we never did get it done. Couldn't get nobody to do it. But I said, hey, we've got to get in there to them fields.
Well, good luck. I hope that you can get this resolved. Can you?
Yeah, I sent a message to Kaylee. What's your first name?
Stephen.
Stephen. Okay. I just wanted to note that. So, Mr. Baldridge, if you want to step back over to my office over there, they'll have that for you.
Okay.
I sent a message to Kaylee so she can make a copy of it.
Okay. So,
So,
thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
This is a township meeting at this guy's house, but it's still,
It's open public meeting.
they can't refuse Mr. Baldridge attending, correct?
Right, it's an open public meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Should I wear my gun?
I'll refrain from answering that.
Go ahead, bless you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the next little thing I've got is Kate.
Never mind. I was going to say she's at lunch, but she's back.
We need to select a representative and alternate to the K-Camp portion of the K.A.C. meeting. They have the K-Camp meetings that coincide with it. And I think that since Jack and Michelle, we'd selected them for the K-Camp, for the K.A.C. portion of it, that they ought to be the same.
You're involved with this though, aren't you?
Oh yeah, she's
Let's
the,
make her the voting member and Jack the alternate.
it's fine with me. Is that fine? Okay.
I'll make that motion. That'd be Michelle voting member, voting delegate, and Jack the alternate.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? 2-0. Here's the big cheese.
You'll need to sign that one page. That second page there. And have the second line up. This is county chair.
And you'll fill in
Yes.
all this. Okay, and then we had a PO brought to us from Joint Communications this morning, to be made out to AT&T in an amount of $3,389.38. There's been the end of our contract, 4-year contract on the phone system had stopped and it went up dramatically. It's being renegotiated now. In the meantime, we've got to pay this, and it's possible some of this will be reimbursed. But in the meantime, we've got a $3,389.38 bill.
Mr. Chairman, I so move we pay AT&T the $3,389 bill.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 2-0. Is there any other new business for the board?
Do you think it's time that we have another county township meeting and tell the townships what the county is obligated to do and what they're obligated to do, and not to bring us in the middle of their personal fights that we have?
I think the meeting that you had, I think, was productive. I think it would be a good idea to have that annually at least. I don't know what time of the year would be the best to do it. I think if you did it now, you probably wouldn't get very good attendance. But
I think it's got to be either late December after harvest, because most of them are farmers.
Having Mr. Bauer there made it interesting and made it longer, but I think we need to bring it back in within our county versus every county in the state of Kansas.
I would be open to presentation of some sort. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily have to be in county, but maybe the subject more local subject. I don't know who that would be. I don't have anybody in mind, but some of that pertained to us and some of it didn't.
Yeah.
And there's usually, almost like the round tables we talked about this morning about K.A.C. or different events, a lot of times it's just having some people that know a lot of general information, and then we discuss that. It brings up topics that we haven't even addressed before. It might be something then that you do that next research after that.
It was good having Mr. Bauer there because we got into the minimum maintenance roads a little bit, and we had some interest. So.
Yeah. There's no other new business, any old business? Any county councilor updates?
We did close on the bonds. So there's, and the funds have been received. So $2 million has been delivered to Exchange National Bank. As treasurer, there are some one bill I think that we received that needs to be paid out of that. And but anyway, it did get finished, and the $2 million is here.
Okay, in that process, is Seth has any bills that come forward that I guess they would come to him, and then he would need to, be designated that we're going to get it paid out of that fund?
Well, in this situation, Exchange Bank would be the one to make the payment. So similar to the documents that you sign when you have money paid for the sports complexes, it would be a direction to Exchange to pay the money.
Seth does need to be notified that the funds are there, because we talked about taking some funds out of his capital improvement, and then we got the bonds, we put the money back. So he should be let know that the funds are available.
Yeah, I don't think I notified him about it, but so I will do that.
Okay. I thought they'd take a lot longer to get here. I thought we'd have the bridges done, and forgot about before we got the money. But
I think once you get the ball rolling, I think
two of them's done now.
I don't know if they've actually complete to work on payment, but I think that they're next to being done. Do you have any other updates?
No.
Okay. Is there any need for an executive session?
Not for me.
Not that I know.
No. With that, make sure that there's nothing else I'm missing here. With that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn at 1:38.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass 2-0.